It's a little worrying for me. Again, I do think that in terms of effective champion pool, SeTab has had some of the smallest here in the league.
Yeah, I mean, this Talia is not available, right? His Ari is not available, and this Akali being banned out means that some of the work that he's done on these melee champions is just not going to be something that is available to him. So I'm matching your concern there, man. I really don't know what he is going to play, to be completely honest with you, right? I mean, he's played a couple of games of Rise, right? I mean, maybe we could get the Nefiri Rise combo, perhaps.
Yeah. Potentially ThunderTalk going with a Scion, so sure. You're gonna need something that's gonna be able to deal with this very well. There are a lot of AD carries still, and if I see that, I can just pick myself Rise. I can go ahead and take Nefiri for Monki. If you're not afraid that XiaoHuanGren is going to be picking up the Nefiri yourself, which he hasn't shown to be able to play, at least so far this season, even though, again, he is a mid-split substitution, I wonder if you just kind of throw the gambit at them and say, look, we're going to pick Rise, and we're going to pick Kaisa.
Ooh, all right, that would be pretty interesting. I'd really like that. This Team WE definitely showing that they are going to be ready to dive you at any moment. Lucian going to be an immediate lock in here. We're going to get the Nami as well. Listen, I mean, you know that I really like Lucian. I'm always happy when Lucian gets locked in, man. This is super great. I just learned the other day that Lucian has one of the unlocked statues in the Riot Game Shop. I'm gonna have to go pick that up.
Yeah, they have a amazing Lucian statue on the campus too.
Yeah,
no flex. Sorry guys. But WE, I'm a little afraid because, like, yes, there's this Scion who can act as frontline, but you are going to have to play against Lucian Nami earlier. We haven't seen 1xN and Feather really pilot this lane all that well. We kind of saw them do it last week, and to mixed success, I think that Feather not being engaged does put an extra burden on this team. So let's see what WE are cooking on the back end of this draft and what ThunderTalk are going to really be able to get for themselves. I like the Yasuo pivot here, taking that away from SeTab. Potentially a LeBlanc that they're going to have to be worried about, as these have kind of been champions that SeTab has reached for in potential series clinchers.
Yeah, make them play standard at this point. It's been... why not, right? Like, you just force him on the stuff that has not worked for him, force him off comfort. I mean, even that Yasuo game that he played a couple series ago wasn't fantastic, but he came on a little bit later on in the game. So we'll see what this final ban is. It's going to be Annie, so taking off that power pick. We haven't seen her at all today. I'm actually quite surprised by that.
Good. This champion's not balanced. They should not have given her an insane amount of spell pen on her ultimate for no reason.
No.
So what's the 4 here? I really feel like this should be a Nefiri, but maybe you're a little bit afraid of having to play against Scion. I feel like if you're going to play a Drain Tank, it's perfectly fine.
Come on, do it.
Come on, Monkey, lock it in, brother.
Come on,
Let's
bro.
get
You're
into the back line. Let's
series.
go for some dive.
Yeah.
Please don't say that. Don't say they got house money. Just let them win the game, go 2-0 open the series, and call it a night. ThunderTalk,
listen, you're right.
What do we got? We can go for Skarner. We can go for, there's no Lilia for you to be able to go for, but, I mean, maybe you just go for Wukong. Okay.
All right, Wukong it is.
SeTab
for XiaoHuanGren. Yeah, I don't know what SeTab's going to pick here. I'm going to be honest. Maybe he'll just go to, like, a Victor or something like that.
Could be Victor. Could be Aurora here. You might go Galio, although I think it's really pissed this game. We're getting Hoya. All right, okay. SeTab is just first-timing champions again.
I guess so, man. That's what we're going to see out of SeTab. All right. Now we're going to get out of the top lane here. There's a couple of options. We do talk about how, like, oh, yeah, Kaisa, dive comps and everything like that. Right now, you only have this Nefiri. I do think a Cassante would also give you a little bit more dive, as you can all-out somebody and maybe have him follow, and it looks like that will be the lock-in. It'll be Cassante going up top for Cube. Cassante has not had a lot of success recently in the LPL. I mean, remember this champion in Split 1 obviously was giga-busted because of lane swaps, but now has really, thankfully, in my opinion, been taken down a peg. I really got tired of seeing him every game.
16 games, 31% win rate. I mean, I'm looking at Team WE, and I mean, you have great setup for the Neferi. Again, Rise Neferi, a very, very potent combo. Kaisa for Taeyoon, so you're giving him the kind of keys. But if we took the nameplates off, I do think that there is angles here for ThunderTalk. My worry coming out of this draft right now is that we have seen parts of this draft already been played out before. ThunderTalk, we've seen them play the Lucian Nami. Their laning phase wasn't that particularly impressive. We have seen we've seen SeTab play the Hoya before, up against JDG and again another Rise, but that game wasn't particularly too impressive. And while you've given Hoya this Scion, which I think maybe he can be a split push menace like we have seen from Scions in the past, I am just worried that ThunderTalk setups are not clean enough. WE are an aggressive team that are going to try to take advantage of you, so we need to see ThunderTalk properly play a draft here and continue some of their winning ways that we've seen from them in these early games.
Yeah, the good news for the side of ThunderTalk is Kaisa can be a little weak early, especially into this Lucian Nami. So even if you get hit by a Wayward Nautilus hook, you might not be cooked just yet. But again, I worry about this mid-jungle duo. We talked about how strong Rise Neferi is. Listen, Wukong Hui, not really something that impresses me as we're on to Summoner's Rift.
欢迎来到英雄联盟。敌军还有30秒到达战场。
We have life.
There's more of them.
Let's go.
They split like mitosis. They've multiplied. Oh my god. Like, if you're just joining us and you didn't see game 1 or you didn't hear the Gyos from game 1, there's like one dude in ThunderTalk's side who was throwing up the Gyos. But we got more of them. That's what I was worried about.
I was going to say they were just up getting food, maybe hitting the bathroom.
Dude, the game is starting. The draft takes like 5 minutes. How you were like, hey man, start a draft. I'm going to go piss. I don't care about seeing what champions there are. I'll be back when the game starts. It's like, you're going to miss the Gyos. What's the point?
Honestly, the Gyos are the best part. I really love
Yes.
them. No matter what happens, no matter how bad your team may be, no offense to ThunderTalk and their fans, there was at least one, and now there are many.
All right, well, we're seeing some modified starts here. Monki getting an early ward onto the enemy Raptor pit. Also some good vision coming down from WE early onto XiaoHuanGren's blue buff. I think wanting to see where the Scion was very important, as we've seen Scion kind of be taking part in some of these lanes where you can kind of do that lane swap and try to help out your jungler in particular. So he gave an extended decimating smash for XiaoHuanGren. And Monki, again, just using some of that creativity, getting over the wall. He took a single Raptors camp, is now moving in, gonna steal red buff. This is incredibly smart coming in from Monki. And this is just a small piece. Why is 1xN? Jesus Christ, guys. We just used our flash like that. Dry? What are you afraid of?
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that too. I was like, oh, I guess 1xN used his flash to like go in or something because he saw a good angle. No, he did it to dodge out on the hook. You've got this Nami sustain too? I don't know. That was incredibly suspect. As you mentioned, this Lucian Nami out of 1xN and Feather has not been very clean.
Now the jungler's here!
Here he comes! Vampire gonna get up there, land the root onto Feather. Flash forced out from Feather. Monki and Taeyoon will chase him down, and it's first blood for Monki.
Like, what were we expecting? It's Kaisa Nautilus. He now just lost almost all of his bottom side cats, and now look at this Neferi. Neferi's a champion that usually isn't going to skirmish very early on, and you can try to invade her to try to, get underneath her. But with Monki showing, they know that he's done 3 camps. He has all of his bottom side jungle. XiaoHuanGren is going to try to invade, and if WE are playing a little bit aggressive and kind of thinking like, hey, let's protect our Neferi, they could just send their Nautilus over into the topside jungle and protect his camps. And then this Wukong is completely SOL, and he's kind of screwed for the rest of the game.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't already call for the FF. I mean, it took 15 minutes and 20 seconds for game 1, but here in game 2, it looks like it might be a little bit quicker. XiaoHuanGren trying to get in there. He will flash after Cube. So will Hoya. Cube, no flash left over, and the Wukong at least gets a kill. He does his Cassante camp.
Sure, I mean, Cassante is just going to be able to teleport back to this wave. Same thing with Hoya. I don't think it's going to be that impactful. just trying to get something on the opposite side of that. But look at Monki, man. He gets all of his respawn camps. He's actually going to take his blue buff. He's going to do his entire top side, then walk bottom lane and get ready. He's going to be level 5 by the time this happens. And look at this play into mid.
Oh, man, that's MVP Vampire to you, baby. SeTab will flash away and will fall regardless.
All right, there's the FF, boys. I'm throwing it up. Look, there's still a lot of game to play. I'm obviously being a bit facetious. I'm having a little bit of fun. But SeTab now is going to be playing into a Ryze that's scaling. The bottom lane for ThunderTalk has already started to find some issues. This is just not a bot lane that I think they feel comfortable playing in their 2v2. And I think part of that probably falls into the fact that they are just one of the worst teams in the league. When you're playing from a massive deficit almost every single game, playing aggressive lanes like this is something that kind of takes a lot of practice, and you have to have the confidence to be able to do it. 1xN's best carries have been hyper carries, the Jinx, the Kaisas, like these kinds of champions, and this is just not something that we are really accustomed to seeing from ThunderTalk.
Yeah, we talked earlier about Lead from NIP and how he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders because of how the team kind of operates, and forcing 1xN onto this, hey, you need to be the big guy in the early game, and you need to really dictate our mid game as Lucian Nami can do, and get everybody else into the game, puts that sort of pressure on him. And I wonder if that's a big reason why this lane just does not work for these guys. And it's unfortunate because you expect them to be your cornerstone. This is something that you would expect them to be able to pilot quite well, and it's just not working.
Oh, Hoya gets it.
Yeah, he's going to be pulled all the way over. Good damage coming out from Cube. And the flashless Hoya will be pulled back. Cube will finish him off and get the solo molo.
All right, well, at least it's some grass procs going over, but yeah, great job from the K'Sante, and this is exactly what I was worried about when I saw this. Monki, he's just going to do a drive-by in mid. This is the annoying part about playing against Neferi as Wei. All of her dogs have hit detection, so any of your spells that are trying to land are just absolutely useless. So Monki's going to get the topside scuttle. Won't give him level 6, but he'll get damn close to it. He'll get his respawn raptors, and this Neferi is very fed. I know it only looks like a small amount of camps that are going over, and it's a pretty minor goal lead, all things considered, but you look at WE, they just have a bunch of champions that are going to spike so hard on 2 items. They're also just going to be more effective, I think, than ThunderTalk.
Yeah, and they have a comp that is going to be really cohesive once everybody gets online, right? Once Monki is diving hard, Taeyoon gets to follow up on like vampire ultimates that get to the backline. Meanwhile, ThunderTalk's team, they don't have that cohesion, right? I mean, Hui and Wukong, this is not a pair that you see mixed together very often for good reason. It's not something that you really expect to do crazy things.
I'm just watching Ryze Aura farm versus Hui and Nami. Just straight up walk up on him. He's like, I know you have no mana, so I'm just gonna walk up, press EQ, and there's nothing you can do about it. And now they've moved their bottom lane over. Lucian and Nami kind of late to this. They're gonna try to take control of mid wave here, but denying experience and gold on this top side. Also has the call for this Kaisa, so pretty strong opener. It does give ThunderTalk more flexibility as to which side of the map they want to play. And it seems like they really want to try to see if they can get something down on the top side here. XiaoHuanGren here all around the blue side. He has his ultimate now. Same thing with our 2 bottom laners. Vampire not level 6 most importantly. That could actually be a big make or break point for Team WE. Not having that ult in comparison to Feather.
Yeah, he's not particularly close either. XiaoHuanGren starting up these grubs. It's Team WE looking to try and take control of mid here. Monki showing up, forcing 1xN away. Vampire out of that EXP range, still going to be down at level 6. Karis walking up here, looking to disrupt these grubs as one has already gone over to ThunderTalk. One of them is going to reset, keeping this one aggroed. Hook does not land. There's the 1xN dash. Hoya going to try to big body his way in here.
All right.
Right now.
Wei is behind. This is going to be the... Oh, they're just trying to make a play on a SeTab.
Oh, no. SeTab. They don't like you, bro. They said, no, listen, we have the better import. We're going to go right after SeTab, knock him up. Monki should be able to take him out, and does so.
All right, well, 2 grubs going over to ThunderTalk, so that is pretty decent damage. Let's see how much Sion can get on this top side. XiaoHuanGren's actually going to try to help out his top laner and getting some plates. I like this idea. Finally, ThunderTalk not necessarily getting baited into a play, but recognizing, look, we can win if they're going to be playing flexible on the map. Let's just try to nickel and dime them. Let's take a cross map here. Even if we go down, we just got 3 plates on this top side. I think I'll take that if you are ThunderTalk. Oh, I think Cube actually just wins this. Oh my god.
I'm kind of surprised that Cube just didn't go after him, right? He does have all out available. So I thought he was just going to flash right after him and be like, no, I'll just kill your jungler, but he does let him off the hook. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, nothing that SeTab can do to even get close. As Karis is almost a full level up. They're going to move over and start to clear out these Krugs and just allow Monki to get even more of XiaoHuanGren's jungle.
Okay, now that he doesn't have the Prey Seeker, he does need to be a little careful here. You can kind of see that Taeyoon does have to recall it up. It's going to be a split of the jungle, though. Monki being able to take a lot of the bot side camps here. XiaoHuanGren actually only taking the Raptors and the red buff. So he's trying to equalize at least some of the differential between him and this Neferi. But, I mean, you're just looking at it right now, right? Like, Monki's getting closer. He's probably already done with what seems to be a Spear of Shojin. And then Karis is getting closer to that Rod of Ages. Oh, he's going for the Eclipse. Okay, wants a little bit more damage, I understand. But
getting that shield
this does not get easier for WE to, or for ThunderTalk to play.
No, not at all. I mean, you still have this Ryze who is scaling up. He's got his Catalyst. He's got his Tier stacking up. Going to take a back here. You know, maybe this is a Rod of Ages finish. Nope, sticks around. All right, Karis, make a decision, man. Either go up and
He's playing respectfully. They don't know where Wukong is. Yeah, they have a lot of wards, but like he could wrap through Raptors. I think it's a fine decision. And he just wants to see if SeTab's going to really overextend.
All right, here we go. A couple ultimates burn up on the top side. His Cube no longer has his flash. Let's see if he can get a flash out of either of them. We're going to try to turn around on the Hoya. Monki is here as well. Looks like Hoya is going to be the initial focus. Cube still low. Being chased out. Monki's going to try to protect him a little bit. This maybe smash not going to land. It looks like everything is fine.
Yeah. Now they're sending 4 members. They want to try to take this first turret here.
What is teleport
coming on in? Jesus Christ, okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen. They are playing with purpose right now with ThunderTalk, but they only have 1 minion here. Teleport going to be matched by Karis, who now has that Rod of Ages. Which looks like maybe an opportunity to hot swap Hoya out of there. Monki is going to hop over the wall. The Rune Prison is there. Nice dodge out. SeTab forced to flash away. Realm Warp means that Karis is going to be put right in a good spot, but under the turret, under the Aqua Prison with the knockup. Oh, big mistake by the Ryze as he goes down, and Feather gets credit for that one.
How does XiaoHuanGren decide that he's going to finish that recall in front of the enemy team? That was crazy. Extra ballsy coming in from him. But that'll mean that that's at least a kill going over. It's going to be a trade. Unironically, I think that WE actually come out the losers of that. Because now you've lost 3 flashes on the top side. Yes, it is Hoya and SeTab losing access to flash, but you're getting more plates on the opposite side of the map. And while Sion is picking up gold, a little worried here for ThunderTalk. Even though they were able to go a little bit even on that trade, I think that short term it's good for them. Long term, I just don't know if Sion's really the recipient of gold that you want here. In particular with just having the fact that there is a Ryze, or sorry, that there is a Karis on the enemy team. Yeah, that recall still going through. And actually, picture in picture, Sion is just dead. All right. Okay, cool. I mean, this was really funny coming in from Karis. The fact that he's able to get it, but they're just trying to make sure that that first turret doesn't immediately go down there, especially with those 3 grubs.
Yeah, you know what? Credit to Karis. No flash, no teleport, no problem. As they're able to get the job done there. And again, as you said, make sure that the turret does not go down initially. So good stuff there. We have a minute until the dragon comes up, a minute 45 until the Rift Herald. Let's take a look at this replay. XiaoHuanGren was down there too, and he just lets his boy go.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing he can do. Also, Sion's Sunfire Cape. That's all you needed to know.
Oh,
That's all that happened there. So, Sion, the Sunfire Cape, will run for an invade. XiaoHuanGren doesn't know.
Okay, the clone with the knock-up there. That was nifty.
Oh!
Hook doesn't land either, but it does burn the flash of Wukong.
Well, that's just Dragon going over to WE. It's up in 30 seconds. They're going to have access to that. That's going to be really nice for them to deal with. And we're kind of seeing this battle for mid priority. Again, Lucian should have an easier time, but Taeyoon having the static shiv does make it, you know, a little bit more competitive between these 280 carries as to who's able to farm. But with Lucian and Nami sitting together, and with the electrocute Lucian, make it a little difficult for Taeyoon to justify stepping up. Especially, again, that objective being close to spawning means that make sure that you have all your HP, making sure that you have all your cooldowns is going to be that much more important, as, again, still no flash for SeTab, and XiaoHuanGren's not going to have that Cyclone nor the Summoner spell.
You know, in credit to Taeyoon, and I only wanted to say this because you and I are on the broadcast, dropping CS sucks as an 80 carry, man. It stinks. It's like the worst feeling in the world.
I want to walk up and hit that minion, but Jesus Christ, I know I'm going to lose 50% of my HP. And then
yep, and you know what? I still might do it. It's like Monki just did right there. You know, that could have been Taeyoon. That could have been us.
Could be us, but they're playing. So Monki goes
nice.
back mid to try to help. He's going to jungle privilege at least a little bit of his HP back. You're just seeing with Hoya, or with the Hui and the Lucian, it's that much easier. W are opting to drop waves instead, just to make this objective theirs. Again, XiaoHuanGren, no flash. He will have his Cyclone coming up in 10 seconds. Can TT stall out long enough to get access back to this massive teamfight ultimate?
Hook goes down. They immediately target out this Wukong, and he will fall. Hoya tries to break up the fight, but can't really do much of anything. Spiraling Despair doesn't land either, as Monki will finish off the Dragon.
Well, that's a bit of a heartbreaker there. I mean, Karis getting the Realm Warp, kind of getting him out of position. He actually sends the Realm Warp bottom lane so he can pick up that wave, have access to it first. This is just WE not calling their shot. Yes, you don't have this ultimate, but I feel like Sion needs to find and engage first. Feather, if they're ever in a weird spot, you need to be able to find something with your ultimate. And I mean, now they're just going to be able to make this dive.
Yeah, SeTab is just dead. There's not too much you can do. Yeah, sure, Monki gets feared, but Karis is going to be the one to tank up the turret. The turret will fall. Oh, no, hold on. The dogs end up dying. These were not minions, these were dogs.
Yep, they have more HP. They just tank up the turret a lot better. All right, WE, they try to force onto this bottom side. They did get the Dragon, and they will get some damage onto these outer structures, tier 1s. ThunderTalk, don't ever pull the trigger. They never try to find out an advantage onto Team WE, and now they don't even get to bother to contest around the Herald. So it'll be first start going over WE here at 16.5 minutes. Means that that'll be feats of strength completed. Hoya finally walks up to this. Little too late now coming in, and that I feel is most of how ThunderTalk plays a lot of their games. Just a little too late.
And the big problem with that is when you play a little too late, guys like Monki get to go real big. He's got 2 items. He is 5-0. Guys like Karis are allowed to just scale up into infinity. He hasn't really been bothered. His one death was a misplay by him where he realm warped into the turret, essentially. And we are going to see a fight over Rift Herald, and ThunderTalk are the first ones there. Let's see if Team WE can fight their way in. Okay,
Sion is just... Okay.
Going down, the bubble lands, as well as Spiraling Despair. Rift Herald is secured, and Monki's going to go way deeper, fakes him out. Burns that Cyclone, big Nami ultimate too, as well as Hoya knocking up too. XiaoHuanGren on the backside after getting all out, and his cube is trying to do what he can. And Team WE, the rest of them are safe. Hoya's dead body looking to try to get some kills. It's burning a lot of flashes, but there's a turnaround. Karis doing the damage.
Taeyoon!
Finally getting in there. Big hook lands onto SeTab as he goes down. Monki now looking for the Wukong as he's going to run him down. Some Monki on Monki violence happening here as Wukong is able to flash away, but he goes and gets Monki anyway. Taeyoon and Vampire, they see the low health bars, they're lusting after them, but they can't grab them.
Vampire just had one of the worst fights I think he's ever had, especially this season. Just missed Nautilus Hook. I want everybody to be watching Nautilus. A massive investment there from WE, and ThunderTalk still come out ahead. They get the kills. They also are able to grab out on the Rift Herald there. And some minor mistakes coming in from ThunderTalk, but I'm just watching Vampire. He had one hell of a team fight here. Hooks onto the Scion, that's fine. Most of this damage being blocked out by Cube, I think, is really well played. And then the back end of this, I'm just watching this Nautilus. Misses the hook, lands onto the wall here. So now Karis and the rest of his team have been baited. Taeyoon can never walk forward. Vampire's going to look for another hook. Lands onto the Scion. I don't think this is worth it. I think you're trying to look for the Lucian here. SeTab has now flashed forward. Karis, or Vampire, trying to find a hook, but there's a Scion in front of him. Where does the next hook land? It lands on the SeTab, so finally we find one here. But even in the back end of this, getting so close, but no cigar for Vampire. Maybe he's able to find this hook. Somehow, in between the super large hitbox of a Wukong and a Lucian, does he still miss the hook? So many of these, I think, could have been game-breaking and potentially gone in favor and completely wiped this fight for Team WE, but that is the difference between a one fight and a much closer one here.
Yeah, it's classic Vampire. As SeTab is dead. Again.
Well,
06 and 4.
SeTab getting caught on a side lane or in transition. That is unfortunately just what's going to happen if you have a mage mid. Very important piece. If you're ever going to play competitive, and especially if you're going to be picking mages, you need to escort them between minion waves. You need to make sure that they have vision. They're able to communicate. Someone needs to walk with them in between lanes. Otherwise, they're going to continue to make picks. That continues to be an issue here for Team ThunderTalk. As it's going to be the Herald spawned in mid lane. They're going to try and see if they can get more, but the Otacon's being started here by Team WE.
Why not? They rip this thing very quickly. The Neferia, the Rise, going to get that one very easily. XiaoHuanGren going to ride this one into the turret, take that one out. Twitch chat showing up to the party. Yes, you are helping Team ThunderTalk make a bit of an impact in this game. Let's see if we get a second charge off. Second appearance of Twitch chat, perhaps. Hell yeah, there they go. And all of a sudden, Cube forced to stay sturdy. Vampire over the wall, waiting for some opportunity that won't not be the best.
I think ThunderTalk, you're not contesting this dragon, guys. We have so much gold to spend. We literally just got a turret and a half. We got a lot here that we could potentially look for. I understand that we're on 2 items. SeTab's really close to finishing his. To teleport now from Hoya. He has taken his recall, but I'm looking at Taeyoon. He's finished the Rage Blade, as well as already having a static shiv, so he is going to be so massive in these team fights. And look at this instant repositioning.
Nice.
Such a better spot coming on through for WE.
Nice, and that puts Cube on the weak side of the pincer, which is exactly where you want him. Starting to run out of room here. Hoya with a big knockup. Vampire taking a lot of damage, but the knockup's going to come out. Here we go. Vampire already going down. XiaoHuanGren looking for more knockups there, but Cube is face tanking everybody, but so is Hoya. SeTab looking for a little bit of damage on the way out. Karis and Taeyoon relatively healthy, so is Monki. After losing Vampire, they will give up the dragon, so the stacking has been broken by ThunderTalk.
All right, let's go ThunderTalk. I had questions. I was doubting them. I did say I didn't want to see them contest for that dragon, but Vampire slowly losing his grip on this game. That Scion is becoming an impenetrable wall. Part of the reason we've just seen this champion rise throughout the games, throughout in priority, is just he becomes an unkillable beast. Especially for someone like Vampire, it is really hard to walk past him. So we have to see in that fight again, Hoya doing a fantastic job of just being a tank frontliner. Made it difficult. Him and XiaoHuanGren doing a great job in that fight of disrupting the backline and stopping them from getting any progress.
That does speed bump Team WE, certainly. I mean, the gold lead isn't that vast for them. It's only about 1,200. Remember, we did talk about how they do have some damn good scaling, right? And, you know, Karis is on his 2 items, is only going to get stronger from here. Taeyoon later on, we know what Kai'Sas do once they get more items, especially in the LPL. But, you know, even Lucian's a champion that as the game progresses can still have a little bit of strength, whereas back in the day, he used to fall off quite hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of looking at this right now. Karis is going to get access to level 16 soon. And I kind of want to see Cube do a little bit more. I know we haven't really talked about him. He's been a player that has been kind of floating around some of these LPL. I think that Molecule ended up putting it quite well when he described Team WE, a team of rejects and kind of misfit toys from other teams and other organizations. Really kind of becoming the greater than the sum of their parts individually. But I want to see Cube on this Cassante. You have a lot of responsibility being able to push Scion out as well as maybe kidnap some of the backline. And I don't think we've quite seen that from him on this champion. So if he can have an individual moment, I think it becomes a lot easier for Team WE to actually push their advantage.
We'll see if Cube does better with this target prioritization over these next couple of fights. 1 minute and 20 seconds until the Baron spawns. I imagine we'll see some dancing around it as the items are getting evened up just a little bit here. 1XN got to his third item, has that Infinity Edge. A big spike for this fight, while Taeyoon is still a little bit behind the curve in terms of items.
I think it's fine though. Like, yeah, you're up 600. But I'm playing Kaisa. I'm also going to be looking to probably play AP Kaisa. So the Lucian's like, God damn it, I can't even auto attack him now. He's literally 3 screens
He's too far away.
How can I play the game? So there's a lot of armor pen, right? Like, even if Taeyoon is going for this AP build in the back end of it, just having that Black Cleaver come in from Monki does provide a pretty decent amount of utility, especially for like shotgun ulting yourself as Kaisa and having a fully evolved Acathian range, just hit your opponents in the face. Pretty good there. So let's see. I mean, WE, this game has started to stall out, and again, we've seen now 2 fights in a row where Vampire doesn't really get the fight that he wants, and it ends up stalling out the game and giving ThunderTalk ways back in. The gold has shrunk quite significantly here, and I mean, we have Baron starting in 10 seconds. I wonder if Karis and the rest of Team WE get really experimental and try to realm warp their way into a fogged out pit, try to burst out this Baron with the Kaisa and Rise.
It's going to be really hard to do so because ThunderTalk have been using their mid priority to get this vision down and clear out the Team WE vision. It's going to be pretty difficult for them as SeTab up here is going to get shoved in just a little bit, not quite going to have that priority given the fact that he's fairly weak right now and has had some time on the struggle bus so far.
SeTab is 2.5 levels down. Holy crap. Like, now one of them is a Rod of Ages level. So, you know, we'll give him that. He's a level and a half down, but I mean, Rise gets such a big power spike on level 16, getting more damage into your overload. Your Q is very, very dangerous. So, alright, we've got a minute before the Dragon here. Again, Soul Point, if WE are able to grab that, the fact that ThunderTalk get access to 1 Mountain Dragon is actually pretty decent for them. Again, small amount of resistances still go a long way when you start to look at some of their champions, especially XiaoHuanGren and Hoya. But it's all about this mid priority now. You see that 1XN trying to get some damage down onto Taeyoon. Very careful. He needs to be incredibly cautious about how he steps on mid waves and where he's able to take positioning here, especially with Karis and Vampire.
They have no idea where Monki's at right now. He's in a really nice creative spot there. They do have a good idea of where the rest of Team WE are at. Looks like Monki will look to group up with the rest of his team. Teleport going to be expended here. Hoya going to TP onto this mid wave. Karis a little
Just go for mid wave, yeah, who cares? Dragon doesn't care, it does not matter.
Yeah, they have the inside track. This is going to force action from WE. Karis going to try to get around to the side. It's only him. Karis, what are we doing? He goes golden. This is a really rough start to the fight. Monki and Karis get out of there, but they're on the wrong side of the map right now. Vampire gets hit with a bubble. He's going to have to flash away. Cube trying to do what he can. Taeyoon gets to the backside.
Oh my god, Taeyoon!
Finds these priority targets. It's another LPL Kaisa experience. Triple kill for him. XiaoHuanGren, sure, you get the 1 kill on the backside, but Taeyoon saving WE in this fight.
Oh my god, Karis, man, he is jeopardizing and making this game way too risky for my liking right now. Double Aqua Prison, gets his Seraphs, and even pops the Seeker's Arm Guard there, so he won't have this up and available. Can XiaoHuanGren find the steal? He has Smite, but it's complete Fog of War, and he steps back in. He's gonna get bursted out by this Kaisa.
Alright, he's playing carefully.
He's gonna get
out.
out.
To just give it up. Yep, so that'll be Soul Point for Team WE.
But look at how this fight is played. I mean, I know we're gonna probably see a
this is disgusting.
Like, look at this. Monki goes in. That is complete right into a double Wukong ultimate. Seraphs plus the Zonias, both of them have to get out of that pit immediately. Vampire again does not find a priority target, and it's SeTab who's really the kind of the big linchpin. Cube finally having that performance on the Cassante, finds the backline, forces 1XN out with the kidnap, and allows for Taeyoon to reposition. But if not for that play, this should be ThunderTalk completely wiping the map with WE and potentially taking us to a 3rd game. It's going to be them starting up the Baron. Look at where their Fury is. They have no idea that this Baron is going on.
Remember all that earlier vision that they picked up off battery. A shotgun Baron coming out for ThunderTalk. Teleport going to be used. Oh, they pull off of it for a little bit. Baron has not reset yet. Just allowing a little bit of time for Monki to get there. They have not
No
gone back
way.
onto the Baron. They let the Baron reset. SeTab over on the side is gone golden, and you know he's going to go down. Karis is trying desperately to escape. Taeyoon over on the front line takes quite a bit of damage. I cannot believe that they got a kill, and this Baron...
Oh my God!
The Baron didn't fully reset! What the heck happened? They take the Baron anyway! And now Hoya is going to be the target, down to below half HP. Cube.
Look at the teleport! Oh my God, Karis!
Oh no! Oh, he's going to do it again, but he just picked up his Zonias the missed time on the bubble. Karis immediately gets out, immediately goes golden, and Team WE run over the rest of that fight. Hoya gets all out, and it feels like he's healing, but he can't heal that much. He will die, and Feather will be the only one to wear purple.
By hook or by crook, ThunderTalk are getting that Baron. They say, look, if there's one thing in the series you're not allowed to have, you can have our Nexus, you can have our structures, hell, you can even take some of our kills, but you are not taking Baron against us here in this series. Another Baron goes over. I think that they were just way too tanky from WE, and since none of them are focusing the Baron, Cube and the rest of the team are able to find themselves to keep this Baron still entangled. More turrets fall for ThunderTalk. More gold starts to mount for WE. But Jesus Christ, some of these fights look awful from them.
Oh God, we have to watch it again?
This is a long replay, so whatever happened in live, I hope we don't get right into another team fight.
Please, no.
I'm just looking at this. Look, I mean, I think it's really clever. Again, using Realm Warp, they know that there's no one else there. They're waiting for Nefiri to show. And then just look at this Baron. It is constantly getting tanked up by Cube. Cube is constantly taking all of this damage. And while SeTab is getting caught, I think he's buying so much time. Same thing with Hoya. It literally never resets. XiaoHuanGren just gets right back on it. I think he calls their bluff really perfectly. A missed time on the Aqua Prison there, potentially game breaking. Just a melody of mistakes from everybody involved here. This is exactly what we expect from our 8th and 10th place teams.
I need some bleach for my eyes, man. Would you like me to pass it over to you after this game?
Nope, I like my shots, okay? Just straight down the hatch, call it a night. So, all right, well, we get some time to relax, do some water chasers down with it, and now we're 31 minutes, 1.5 away from potentially a Mountain Soul if Team WE can grab it. And while I think the gold lead has started to run away in favor of Team WE, we've already seen that ThunderTalk, especially with this Scion, are really dangerous to deal with. And Mikhail's finished here for Feather. So not only is he helping the damage augment,
Okay. They get a little bit of damage in. Knockup is down on the XiaoHuanGren. Trying to get some damage on the Vampire and the Monki. Not really able to do all too much. The team is very, very split here.
yeah, you're losing access to mid-wave. I feel like this was very adventurous coming in from Hoya, but you are now just going to lose this, and Taeyoon's like, yeah, I can just keep throwing down my Ws. I have a Nashor's Tooth. I also have a completed Zonias. So if we thought it was already tough enough to try to take down Taeyoon, well, now it got a little bit harder. And he has all of his summoner spells back up. So Team WE, they're in position, and they rip this dragon to shreds. They've got a Kaisa. It's going to be so difficult. ThunderTalk need to make the steal of a lifetime. XiaoHuanGren, I have not asked for a lot of you of this series, but if there's ever a time for you to be able to save your team, it has to be now.
I was able to dash away to make sure he doesn't immediately get blown up. Goes back in, secures the red first team. Monki down to about half HP. Remember, there's still good damage on the side of ThunderTalk. Hook immediately lands onto SeTab. He's got to go golden, but everybody on Team WE scatters, and it's going to be Vampire, the one who's getting picked up. Karis trying to do as much damage as he can. Monki down to half HP, but can they buy time for the dragon to actually be done? Taeyoon is on the wrong side of the wall, just trying to land some of these Ws through.
1xN, what are you doing?
Karis. And we get into the backside. There we go. A lot of damage coming down. It's Smiling Despair. And Taeyoon gets into the middle of the fight. And it's time to dance, baby. Big Aqua person, but Taeyoon goes golden. XiaoHuanGren trying to get away. And Taeyoon just untouched pretty much throughout this fight, ripping the key members of ThunderTalk to pieces. XiaoHuanGren goes back in, and sure, he kills Monki, but Karis and Taeyoon, the products from the LCK, reign supreme on the Rift, and they will take the Mountain Soul for Team WE.
Okay, Vampire says, look, I've had too many good games in a row. I gotta throw in a stinker. I gotta make sure that I do this. But Taeyoon, man, it feels like we are getting early 2025 WE where some of the team fighting looks very sus. Vampire getting caught out, but it is down to Taeyoon on this Kaisa, putting up another performance that had us really looking forward to this Team WE. I mean, 1xN not playing the range well enough, gets forced out, even with 1xN, even with Cube, down so low in this fight for a majority of it, getting that Omni Vamp and getting all of that lethality right onto 1xN, pops the damage dealers of ThunderTalk. And Karis, I mean, hell, he's just playing level 18, 45-minute rise, so he is going to do a lot of damage and be very difficult to take down here. A Mountain Soul on top of that, so if it was already difficult to kill Cube and Monki and everybody, it's going to get that much more difficult. And they even got a Baron spawning in 30 seconds.
I may have crossed the threshold in the impossible Alk battery. Mentioned that Baron is coming up. Yeah, sure, ThunderTalk got it under some dubious circumstances last time, but I can't imagine that's going to happen again. And I have to ask, is Taeyoon one of the clutchest AD carries that we have here in the LPL? I mean, sure, he's doing this against ThunderTalk, but he's done this against a couple of teams in some couple of games where Team WE have won. He has been so consistently good in the late game, especially in the teams.
He is very good for Team WE, I will say that. I think our clutchest player still might be Jackie Love, might be Hope, depends on the game, but we'll see. Getting started up around this Baron. They now know that Vampire is on this side, so he's going to have to reconnect with the rest of his team. And I'm watching right now, Cube trying to muscle his way in. They still have this Karis ultimate.
There's Hoya. Hook does not land on anybody. Vampire gets rooted up, the calling as well. He's in big trouble. He's going to land the knockup onto SeTab. SeTab's going to go in the middle of the fight. Monki taking a lot of damage, but SeTab completely cut off and he goes down, and they just can't chew through Cube. Now they're going to turn their sights onto Hoya, and Monki's going to hop in, and they're going to take him out too. And Sion's dead body will just hit a couple of minions.
Well, look, they made the pick on a Vampire, but now you've lost 2 members. It'll be Baron going over to WE, and gotta watch how they close this one out. It has been fight after fight loss here for ThunderTalk. It has not felt like they've been very competitive so far. A lot of these fights feel, if you look at them, ThunderTalk kind of coming at them at a weird angle. Hoya, I think, is doing his damnedest in this game. XiaoHuanGren really trying in this one to make this even, but the backline is just, I don't know how else to say it, but useless, man. Like, 1xN does not deal damage. SeTab is literally in the gutter right now on this wave. Almost 6,000 gold down at 37 minutes.
1xN cannot escape the dogs. The Hounds of Justice take him down as Monki and the rest of Team WE are leaving the base in tatters. Karis is going to back, and he's going to TP right back in as the siege is on. Bubble onto Cube as well, spiraling despair, but it just doesn't do a damn thing at this point off battery. Hoya is the one who gets hooked. His ultimate's going to come through. The tidal wave does too. XiaoHuanGren trying to get away as the first Nexus turret will fall. He's got to deal with Cube. They're going to get onto Vampire. Monki is there. Taeyoon's got more shields than damage actually being dealt to him, and that will do it. The second Nexus turret will fall, and Team WE complete a 2-0 sweep of ThunderTalk.
Now they go up to 6-10. They'll be able to maybe get one more kill. It's Hoya instead of Feather. But another 2-0 here for the side of Team WE. They break their 4-series losing streak. And I think, again, we look at this team, they're really starting to compete for that 7th, maybe 6th place spot. They are now tied in terms of game wins. Again, 6th and 7th above them, 6 and 9 in series score. But it's all about those game records. Now 17 and 22 for this Team WE. They're going to be asking for FPX to kind of lose a couple more of those series. And you know, a lot of Team WE's fate is in their hands right now, especially with them going up against AL in a couple of days' time, and their last match of the season being up against Weibo.
Yeah, interested to see if they're going to be able to get that movement up, if they're going to be able to end up rematching ThunderTalk, because listen, the way they dealt with them, that 7 seed is looking very, very delicious right now. I think that, you know, that's where you really want to be, unless you're 5 or 6. Obviously, it's kind of hard to judge 5 or 6. They're definitely really good, and you're really happy to play against the Group Nirvana teams, but you don't actually know what they're going to look like. I think I'd rather deal with the more known quantity in ThunderTalk. So That 7 seed going to be coveted. Weibo Gaming is going to have to hold on to it for dear life.
Weibo are not looking good either. They're on a bit of a slide. They're on a 5-loss streak. They're about to tie ThunderTalk with the worst loss streak in the league if they end up losing their next games.
It's good, yeah, and it's going to continue. They're playing against TES next.
They're playing against TES, yeah. That would put them at 6. I'm taking a real quick look at Weibo and what they have in their series. They have FPX and WE. If you told us at the beginning of the season that WE versus Weibo was going to be a competitive series, I'd have laughed at you. But now we're here, and the present is a lot different than the past. But it sucks for ThunderTalk not even winning a game, so they'll move to 3-13. That almost assuredly locks them for 10th place. But, again... actually, with that, NIP are also now locked for play-ins. All right.
Congratulations!
Yeah, because they can't beat anybody above them in game score. They can't reach top 4 with 14 and 23 game score. So NIP are now confirmed to be in the play-ins. What their seed is going to be a little bit different. And some finishing thoughts on Team WE as we close out tonight's show. Just. I really do think that while this is an aggressive team, the one that looks really good in the first 15 minutes, there are still a lot of things that they need to work on.
Yeah, and one thing that was mentioned a lot is that how Karis can really get this team into trouble sometimes. And he definitely did that in that last game. Oh my goodness, dude was literally trying to gift wrap the game away. He said, I want to play a third game against my best friend SeTab. Thankfully, Taeyoon said, no. I want to go home.
Yes. Karis, again, has had some risky plays. Again, that's why we talked about our mid lane matchup to these guys that have some games that make it a bit difficult for their team. I think we got to see that from SeTab tonight. But Vampire, he got caught out a fair few times here. And that ended up making it really slow for them to walk in. It didn't help that Karis was also kind of doing his part. But that damage coming out from Taeyoon, he deserves the MVP for this game. He was really carrying his team across the finish line, and that has been a through line for WE throughout all of 2025. The Monki and Vampire stuff, that came in the middle of split number 2 here. That came recently with the last week or two, not 2 weeks or two, the last month or two. But Taeyoon being a carry and being a big part of their wins, that has been a consistent theme throughout all of 2025.
Yeah, he has been their rock, their hope diamond. The one that they lay their worries on and their stresses, and they say, please carry us to a victory. And that mid lane fight, it was so chaotic and such an awful start. Everybody says, man, AD carry is useless. Yeah, sure, he had a lot of magic damage there. Taeyoon single-handedly drags WE kicking and screaming into a winning position after that fight, dude. That was a really crazy, well-played fight from him. And if he doesn't get the MVP, it's a goddamn robbery.
Yeah, that's true. And
oh, here it is.
Yeah. Yep. I'm sad that a lot of the replays are probably going to be coming in the back half of this game, just because there was not much doing for most of it. I don't know. For Team WE, I think it's very clear that they're probably like a 6th, 7th best team in the league. Especially with the slide that Weibo is going on, and depending on how they look against FPX, excuse me, later on into the season. But there's very clear losses. I mean, again, WE, they just went on a 4-series losing streak playing against the best teams in the league. JDG, IG, BLG, and TES. Only picking up games against IG and JDG, which I think speak more about those teams than necessarily WE's strengths. They're a good team fighting team. You have a solid enough AD carry to win you games. But some players, I want to say this is an uncharacteristic series or game from Vampire, because he played really well in game number 1. He had a quieter game number 2 where he's getting caught out a fair bit, but again, he's playing Nautilus into Sion. I think there's some ways you can draw some excuses for him and give him some grace. But, I mean, clearly, the solo lanes for Team WE, sometimes, I'll be honest, not even the solo lanes, I don't want to give Cube any of that blame. Karis and Monki put themselves in positions where they make the game a lot riskier than it needs to be.
Yeah, and that is a big worry, right? Because you need to have this consistency. We said it earlier. Consistency is sexy in the LPL. You need to be consistently not putting yourselves in position to lose very winnable games, right? And, you know, as you were alluding to, right, after them sure, taking games off of JDG and IG, but still losing to them. And yeah, it just shows that, you know, right now this is a 6th, 7th place team, as you said, and you know, maybe they will be able to punch above that. But I don't think it's going to be the split. I do think they need a little bit more time. But hell, I'm here for the ride, man. You know, it's if anything, it's fun to watch these guys play because they never, ever quit.
I'm actually more excited about this Team WE roster. I think that there are, you know, obviously things that we were just talking about that they need to work on. But I think the exciting part for me is there is actually a reason to watch this team. Because beforehand, we came into this split and we were just watching WE lose games. We were like, okay, they're probably 10th place.
10th.
Like ThunderTalk were kind of terrible, but at least, like, you know, they still had that like copium take of like, hey, they beat BLG. Maybe there's a way for them to kind of, you know, with 1xN, maybe there's some angles there that they could do stuff. But Team WE, there is exciting pieces here. Again, Taeyoon playing well.
Oh.
We're giving it to Cube. All right. Producer, get this off our screen.
All right. Yep,
I'm just going to pretend I didn't see this MVP vote. Yeah, I just like the way that they play. I think it's very clear. Again, mid-jungle, playing around Karis, making sure that Monki can be creative, let him play an aggressive jungle style where he's getting into the face, he's kind of stealing camps away from enemy jungle, and then just kind of allow for Vampire and Monki to kind of be those engine drivers for your team. I think very exciting. It's clear that that's how they want to play. They've obviously found success, and hey, at least they're working at it, right? They have a very clear and defined style, whereas kind of ThunderTalk, they're like an amorphous blob almost. They have some team fighting. They kind of just like walk up. They play well in some of the early games, but they don't really do anything. And it's a bunch of rookies that I think are also kind of quiet in terms of personality. Who on that team is really stepping up? Maybe Hoya, as someone who's been playing for a long time, but 1xN and Feather are not